Hi, today for the YouTube video I am going to explain about the Spring Boot project with MyBatis example. Um, Spring Data JPA provides many adapters for MyBatis also, along with Hibernate and some other third-party ORM frameworks. If you can see object relational mapping, data mapping with the objects is a important thing when you are building an application, right? You want to map the data of the any table to particular Java project class. The reason is, you have to uh, uh, serialize the Java object. Sometimes you may have a requirement of serializing the Java object and storing the data. And whenever you are dealing with the data, it is always good practice if you map your data to a Java object, because everything will be in the form of object oriented scenario. We know that Java programming is object oriented programming. We will always create a complex applications by representing the real world scenarios. So when you want to create some real world application using a Java, that object oriented programming, you have to make everything in the form of objects. You need to capture the data also in the form of objects, right? So when you get the data through an application program from the database, you need to map the data to Java object, POJO, plain Java object. You can consider that a POJO will have multiple properties. Let's say if your table is having employee ID, employee name, details, or table is having the professor ID, professor details. Okay, or you can see there are many ways. In scientific research, you may use the data for analytical purpose, right? So you need a plain POJO Java objects to hold the data. So we all know the Spring Data JPA Java Persistent API is particularly designed for that purpose. It is also supporting the Hibernate. Underlining the implementation is the Hibernate. So JPA is an abstraction, it is a framework. It provides you the multiple adapters to connect to the multiple ORM framework, which can fill the bridge, which can fill that gap between the Java layer and the database. So one of that frameworks, ORM frameworks, is nothing but MyBatis. So I want to explain how the Spring Boot project, you can see how we can integrate the MyBatis framework along with the Spring Boot project. The first thing we need to do is we need to add the dependency. Let's say we are using a Maven build dependency here. You can see org.mybatis.spring.boot. MyBatis Spring Boot starter. So it will automatically download the respective trans2 dependency, interdependent, all the dependencies. It will download that. And other thing is, you see here, application.properties file. You see we generally have application.properties file, right, for Spring Boot applications. I'm going to specify my data source details here. You can see we are using a MySQL in this example. We have given the JDBC URL and username password we specified there, and along with that we have to specify MyBatis config file location and MyBatis mapper file. Okay, and the package that is containing the models, POJOs, right, which will hold the data. So here you need to understand two things basically. One thing is the POJO, okay, and other thing is mapper classes. I'll explain what are these mapper interfaces and how we are going to map the data here. So first thing is we can create a MyBatis config.xml file. You can see here, this is a global configuration file. This is optional in this example, but if you want to have a basic setup for advanced settings like caching, type handler, global settings, you can use this MyBatis as global configuration. So this type handler concept is a different thing. It is a little bit advanced here. Whenever you want to handle some conditions, we need to create some type handles. So this would be useful for that. For now you can ignore it. But the main thing is I want to explain here. You have to create a mapper interface. First thing is we all know the Spring Data JPA. We will create a repository interfaces, right? In the same way, we are going to create a mapper interface. You see here, we are going to create a public interface user mapper interface, and it is having a two method declarations. Okay. First thing is the find all users method, which is returning of data type is list of user details. Another thing is get user by ID, which is taking a parameter integer ID, and it is returning the data of type user. You can see that there are two methods. For example, you can have a number of methods. For example, we have taken two methods, and for every mapper interface you need to have a corresponding mapper XML file. So here we have created a user mapper interface, right? In the same way, we need to create XML file. Why do we need this XML file? Because this is where we specify the underlining select queries. SQL queries, structured queries, the native queries will specify it. You can see here. We are going to create XML file containing SQL statements here. It will be under a resources folder, MyBatis mapper. We create a mapper package. Under that, we created a user mapper.xml file. You can see that there. So we have declared two methods. You can see here. Our mapper interface, user mapper interface, is having two method declarations. First method is find all users. For that particular method, we need to create a corresponding SQL implementation. In general, Spring Data JPA, we will we will extend these JPA repositories. Automatically underlining the code will have all fetching, all the details like fetching, saving, update, delete. All the methods will be implemented internally. But here, to MyBatis, you need to explicitly write the queries for each and every method that you are going to declare in your mapper interface. So what is the significance of this? Because the developer is having full control here. Okay, you can actually create a customized self queries. You can do that depending on the requirement, right? You can see here what is the namespace here. Namespace is your mapper interface. Whatever the interface you declared, right? So that is the interface. So crucially, the namespace must be fully qualified name of the mapper interface. The ID of each SQL statement should match the corresponding method in the name interface. You can see here. I have declared all these methods. And result type is the data type that particular method is rendering the data. So you can see the first find all users is returning of type user type, right? Second thing is also returning a user type, right? So it will implicitly map the data to the list. See, if it is returning a single row record, fine, it will map it to the user, simply the user model. But if it is returning a multiple records, it will automatically map that to list of users. So that is why in the result type we just specified only the user type. We don't need to declare a list of the user. Just specify what is the type of data, type of record it is returning. Type of record it is returning is the user type. So what is the user? User is a model. It may contain the user ID, username, user email, right? You can see that here. Now, so what we are doing here, we are going to have extra annotation @mapper scanner along with the Spring Boot application. You can see here we are going to have that com.example.demo.mapper @mapper scanner, which is scanning that package basically. You can see here. And then what we are doing is just created a main class. So that's it. You don't need to do much more than this, because automatically the data will be mapped to the corresponding POJO. You can actually utilize this mapper interface methods to retrieve data in your service classes. Okay, I hope this video would be very useful for you. The Spring Boot along with the MyBatis. Thank you for listening.